My name is Solomon DeMello. I am the producer and creator of Deception, a sort of short film I created. And this film, Deception, has a very similar theme to the one found in The Crucible. And that theme is deception. That deception will only cause heartbreak and pain. Now, this theme is shown throughout the entire story of this short film, Deception. So, in the beginning, this guy, comes out. He looks across and he sees what he believes to be a woman, and he goes over to hit on her. But when he taps on her shoulder, it turns out to just be a man in a wig. Now the man takes off the wig and thinks, "Oh, someone's hitting on me. He might be the one." So he goes after him, right? And this guy, he doesn't want this. So straight off in the beginning, this deception of his, we'll call him Person 2. Person 2 was the man with the wig, and Person 1 is the guy who tried to hit on him. So this deception of Person 2 with the wig has already caused Person 1 pain by making it so that he's stressed out because, oh, this person likes me now and I don't know how to deal with it. So in the middle of the story, Person 1 pushes Person 2 off of him and goes and just tries to explain to him, like, no, I'm not into you. And this deception again causes heartbreak and pain to Person 2 now, because when he thought that this person liked him, and it turns out they didn't, he was deeply grieved by that, and he cries and he's very sad by it. So you can already see how this deception of him, even in the through the middle of the story, causes him pain by him by him realizing that this person doesn't like him. So near the end of the story, Person 2 is crying on the ground, and Person 1 is like, man, I feel really awkward, but I want to try to comfort him. So Person 2 kind of goes up there, puts his arm on his shoulder, and is like, hey, I'm really sorry about what happened. He tries to console him, right? Now this is a silent film, so we don't know what goes on, but we do know that from context that Person 2 took that the wrong way and thinks, oh, so he actually is into me. So Person 2 goes after him again, and Person 1 is still not into him, and he's like, oh no, I don't want that at all. And this again, Person 2, instead of getting sad, he gets angry and ends up beating up Person 1. So throughout the story, this deception has caused pain from the beginning, middle, and end, and has ended, break Person 2's heart. And so it really shows the theme of deception will only cause heartbreak and pain. Now, the Arthur Miller's The Crucible has this same theme, but it shows it very differently. And this deception comes from Abigail. Abigail is accused of going into the woods and drinking a charm to be a witch, but she ends up lying to everyone and makes them believe that, oh, she was actually being controlled by some other witches or whatever like that. Now, this deception of hers caused a lot of heartbreak and pain throughout the story. First off, at the beginning, Abigail, after being accused of being a witch, says, oh, I'm not actually, like this charm I drank, it wasn't me, it was Tituba. And in the, I believe, quote for quote in the story, she says, I did drink the kettle, but she made me do it. She made Betty do it. This being Tituba, who made her do it. Now, Tituba is very taken aback by this, and they end up whipping her and forcing her to confess this sin of witchery, which she didn't really commit, because there are no witches. And this causes Tituba great pain even in the middle, this deception that it was actually Tituba's idea. When it was Abigail's idea, she was the one who wanted to drink the charm. Tituba really had nothing to do with it. Well, she created the charm, yeah. But, even in the beginning, this causes heartbreak and pain. Now, near the middle, Abigail lies to the court, and she makes them believe that John Proctor's wife put a needle in her. He put a needle in a voodoo doll that ended up in her. so that she would get accused of being witchcraft and that she would be taken away. And John Proctor, this is the wife he definitely cares about her through the story, and his wife was taken away from him by the court, and he is definitely like in pain about this, and he goes to try to confront Abigail, and this is shown through the quote, I have rocky proof and documents that you knew this puppet was none of my wife's, and that you yourself bade Mary Warren stab that needle into it. So here, this deception that she made the court believe that that Elizabeth Proctor was doing witchcraft against her is another example of how this deception she created caused pain and suffering in the story, and particular to John Proctor and John Proctor's wife. And this is kind of towards the middle of the story. Now, near the end, when it all kind of unravels, this whole deception Abigail's created around this whole situation partially ends up hurting the entire town of Salem in a way. So basically, there are these rebellions in Andover because of the witch trial. Andover is another town, and the people are hearing rumors of this, and these witch trials are being held. Basically, these witch trials are about to hang like very prominent people in the community, like people that like people know are strong and people like respect, such as the Proctors or like Giles Corey, and they're worried about a rebellion. And the quote from the story is, "I'm sure of it, sir, but the rumor here speaks rebellion in Andover." So they're worried about a rebellion happening. And this was all created by Elizabeth Proctor's deception. This, clearly they're afraid of a rebellion, and if a rebellion were to happen, usually they don't go over well, and it could very well hurt the entire community and put these judges in, pain or in ill fate. So even at the end of the story, this deception that Abigail created ended up causing a lot of heartbreak and pain throughout the story and even at the end. And so that's why I believe that, that's why this story represents the theme that deception will only cause heartbreak and pain.